I'm interested to see if sAw is going to be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, that quarterfinal was back in 2018 as well, at the Boston E-League Major. So a long time ago, he was in that MOUZ roster. It's been a very long time since we've seen Oscar do anything sort of significant. Hopefully today he can show some of that form in CS2. Sinners on the T side, sAw starting on the CT side. We can see Matthias and Story pick up Joel Berettis. One flash in the hands of Roman. Tech 9 for Oscar.
This is like deja vu. We were in this studio at the previous major watching sAw qualify and all the excitement, all the happiness out of them. It's taken so long. The story of those guys battling through CSGO and never being able to do it. Oh, the counter push. Oh. There's Story and only one. Oh, no.
Probably should have ended up with a lot more than that. Just one kill on the Joel Berettis while opponents are standing in front of him blind. Really did not make the most of that. Now, Agile left alone 1v3.
Didn't even need to be a ton of kills, but at least a second.
Yeah, a second as well. Yeah, that something would have been brilliant there. But when he gets only one, the defense is not strong enough, and Sinners break through with the bomb plant. Agile's coming close, but not going to get close to the round win at all.
Hold the phone. Okay. I mean, you are right, but hold the phone. No, all right.
Let's hear you. Have it back, Jason.
Yep, hang
There's
it up.
The phone.
Hang it up.
Hang it up. We got the cable phone still, Jason. Yeah.
I am very old school like that. Yeah.
Hang the phone back up.
Did you even live a life with those phones? Or were you straight into mobiles?
With the landline phone. Yeah. So it was on a wire. Yeah.
Okay.
For a while, and then it became wireless as well.
Beautiful. 1-0 pistol round for Sinners. They get away with one. Yeah, there's Story's reaction. I think he's thinking the same thing we are, which is, how did I not get 2, maybe even 3?
Yep, true. But here comes Sinners with their buy. Saw a 4-spot into this one, and it's quite fast from Mikey. So he's charging up with a back 10.
I think you actually, if you're, they're going to go with this flashbang. They want to go early. There's the first kill. Oh, it's dangerous. Smoke broken open. B-Stick trying to hold them back. It's the AK-47 of Morisco that's doing work and settling down this aggression.
Well, it's chaos. Absolute chaos in the B-bomb side, but a moment to breathe. Shock is coming through middle. So round CT spawn. Oh, probably could have ended it there and now, but just not accurate on the first opportunity. They swing it towards him, and Matthias actually drops him on that MP9. There's another option for a close quarters fight against Oscar, but they're not getting back into this. Take that Galil away. Take that MP9. And it wouldn't be a bad save at all for sAw. So a 2-0 lead for Sinners. Got chaotic in that B-bomb set. A lot of early fights. And sAw wanted to get the jump on them before the bomb was being planted.
A nice quick just rush from Sinners. So just like, we don't want to faff around with any kind of a default, messing around with the map. Let's just get up the stairs.
And there's risk involved in that, right? Like you could run into the B stack if there's one set up for you.
Absolutely. Could have ran into a nade stack, player stack, but they didn't. They got a nice easy bomb site, relatively easy. Oscar going to try and take this weapon away, some spam through the wall, but that dink keeps him at bay, and they'll just call a stalemate. 2-0 for Sinners, getting started on T-side Vertigo nicely.
They'll at least keep something to play with in this round for sAw. Can obviously be potent with the Deagle, MP9, and Galil combo, but Sinners and the best opportunity to get 3 rounds up early. Interesting what Maui was saying, because when you listen back, when you watch them back years ago, Sinners were the Vertigo squad. Like, this was the one map they could play really well at a world-class level. They could beat the top teams in the world on it. Kind of was their only map, though. It was like a one-trick pony. And now it's a little different. They're actually banning it, as he was saying, quite consistently. So, intrigued to see what their style looks like today. They've lost a player early, though, with that Deagle bringing Oscar down.
Story bangs him out, trying to get it back for the pistol. And Roman boosted up, searching at the moment. He's going to look for a timing to poke his head up.
Oh. The Empire has fallen. And B-Stick moving in towards the site. Nades landed on top of him. And that trade comes in quite quickly. There's a flank from Story, though.
Oh, and that kill's great. Might be able to slow things down just enough if you attack up just a little bit. Mikey going to plant that bomb, but Story coming in, and sAw's letting him play.
Oh, down below, on top of that Xbox is Story to fall to the Galil of Shock. And Two Ts now walking their way down that catwalk, but Mutiris catches Mikey walking backwards. Now Morisco and Shock 2v2 to close this, and look at the angle from Morisco. Makes an easy double kill in the end, and it is a 3-0 lead for Sinners.
I think Story's really wishing he didn't jump up on those sandbags. If he's not jumping up there, he might have an easier time cleaning up that kill coming up above him, because they didn't expect that flank whatsoever. Jump up, just put him right in the crosshairs. 3-0. AWP is out in the hands of Story. Oscar can get it out as well. He's got 6K. I have to imagine he's going to go for it.
Yep, there it is. AWP out. Trying to figure out where the AK is going. Oscar buys to his teammates. They're a little bit late out of spawn there. The T's not really figured out what kind of buy they wanted.
Not the biggest deal in the world. It just means Oscar, if he wanted to go for some kind of a fast, aggressive pick, he's not going to have the timing to nab any kind of an angle. Setting up smoke for the moment.
Yeah. Not a problem for Oscar then if he's doing this.
I have to say, I'm actually pretty excited to see what Oscar's got all these years later. I haven't seen too much of the Sinners games recently, and Oscar himself specifically, but he was always such a fun player to watch. And even though I didn't always have the most confidence in him, damn is he an exciting player.
Yeah, you just know how high his ceiling is. Here comes the attack in towards the A bomb site. Oh, fight down Cap. Roman actually wins that despite taking damage. How is he not finished off? Beastic thought he had that kill. Even went back to quick switch to utility, but that moment, that little bit of time allows Story back into the fight, but it's also in the no-scope, and he's up for a clutch, but he can't get away. He can't get around the corner. Mutiris had him pinned, and finally sAw break through to a round victory.
I'm glad Mutiris actually swung on that. I know Oscar was very low having been legged, but you give him some space to work with, and I'm telling you, Oscar can create some magical clutches, so good on Mutiris not to give him the room to work with that AWP after the fact. 1-3, but sAw feels like very, very lucky to get away with that round win. A lot of pressure, a very passive defense. You mentioned Roman able to stay alive for a very long time.
Should have died the first time. Definitely should have died the second time.
Yeah, we'll see when sAw starts to work up the courage to get aggressive and actually peek down ramp. So a little bit of a change-up. In that previous sAw iteration, it was Ujurx and Erisdos taking the ramp fights. Roman was in a more supportive role. Now it's going to be Roman and Ujurx as the initial defense of the A ramp, with Story as the offer kind of coming over in support. There goes the new player. Mikey finds Agile, and a 5-on-4 for Sinners T-side.
Story drifting his AWP over to watch the heads that'll pop up on the B-stars. Not alone, he's got Mutiris' rifle support here, relatively close to the generator, and that's the head to pop up. Mikey off the boost, and straight away Story reveals the AWP's positioning in the most violent of fashions. Here comes a peek around that half-wall wood, and it's a peek out again from Story at default. He's just not stopping. Finally, a shot does not connect, and Morisco is going to take that space and move forward, but utility deployed, keeping him alive, and his teammates come in and support. So pretty convincing rounds here from sAw. And that one especially, Story, great work in that B-bomb.
His AWP's starting to have some decent impact as well. A couple rounds now, he got a kill or two in the last round with it. Now double kill on this kind of attempt at the B-bomb site for Sinners. So putting some beautiful work in early on in this half to get sAw going. And Sinners is out of money.
There was a conversation that MOUZ brought up saying that the AWPing department is going to favor Oscar in that fight. You know, he's not going to favor Story in the AWPing department.
Yeah, and I mean, I think for me, you know, Story, I don't want to call him like a... I think MOUZ mentioned he was sort of a weakness at times for the previous sAw lineup and iteration, which there's some truth to it, but he was also a really impactful piece at times as well. It was the consistency that he was never able to really find. But certainly he can have some very impactful, strong games. The sAw thing is just, it's such an interesting year and such an interesting story around it. No, sorry, no pun intended. But the dropping of Erisdos, the interview that Roman gave, where it's just like, you know, we just wanted to get it done with. You know, there was, you know, some potential for him to go to another team and kind of exploring some options, and just said coming into this major cycle, we didn't see any reason to just wait around and deal with the confusion and have it hanging over our heads through a major cycle and a major run. Just, it was such a sudden, shocking change to the rest of the scene, because it was like, they'd finally started putting together a year where they were reaching some potential, some good early signs earlier on, but then you get that top 4 finish in Cologne, you get them qualifying for their first major, and then one of their strongest pieces is just gone.
And then we were talking so much about the Barry effect and bringing him in as the coach, what that's done for the sAw team, the next level it's taking them to, and he exits with Arisdos, and you're wondering, what is happening? Are they going to be able to survive such a seismic move in the squad?
Yeah, Barry's got a lot of respect for his knowledge and his ability as a coach, but maybe on the inside, sAw felt like, you know, Barry's given us a lot to get us to the rise up, and we want to get a new coach behind us to take us to the next level after that. Barry's given us a foundation, but not sure if he's the one to take us forward past that foundation.
Roman through the smoke is Morisco to go down, and a great start here for sAw. Another opening fight collected in their favor. Shock has been touted as one of the players to watch. Hasn't necessarily had the strongest start for him, and I'm sure he'd love to get into the game soon enough. And the pack of players now gathering at the bottom of the A ramp. Roman just jump spotting. Eventually we'll get information that he can work with here. There it is. And he actually took a lot of damage there, didn't he?
Yeah, but it's all good. I think the one scary thing for sAw at the moment is the utility factor. So Sinners have played this slow. They've got an advantage of smokes and flashbangs. This is a really good clearance from Agile. He's going to start getting a really fast flank when the utility starts coming in, and 4 defenders are here because there's only one Molotov on story. That smoke is not going to do too much. Sinner's already passed it, but the longer they wait...
Yeah, such limited time here. Gets scary towards the end of the round. A lot of CTs here, a lot of defense to get through.
Excuse me, that smoke is actually pretty lovely to defend scaffolding in yellow.
Oh, blind. Great flash. Great flash, but Roman still steps up. He crosses into the open. Story's off chiming in, and it's shut down by Roman. A 4K in this round on the defense, and Sinners can't stop him.
Yeah, very one-dimensional and telegraphed from Sinners. Roman gets all that information, sees 3 players coming out, and with a player with Agile pushing the B stairs, it's like sAw's like, we know they're coming A. We know they're coming in this direction. That smoke does end up having a huge role to play. No one from Sinners can actually attack up scaffolding. All 4 players coming up ramp, and an easy defense with the numbers.
Ciao, ciao.
I love the idea that he's just talking shit to the other team in like an isolated hotel room.
Yeah, waving into the camera.
Just talking smack for his own benefit.
I like they're still bringing that energy. Three Tech-9s, 2 Deagles. You mentioned earlier today the fact that we were in this very studio, this environment, when we watched sAw qualify for their first major. But you were also here years ago when Jame and VP ripped it from their hands when they were seconds away from qualifying. It's been quite an emotional roller coaster, not just this year, but...
Do they negate each other? Is it now like an even playing field?
It is, I guess. They got to do it again. Well, a little bit of damage done, 1 for 1 as Sinners look to try and pressure their way in towards this A bomb site. Utrox has dealt with Morisco, made it look so easy. Just slaps him away, but that bomb plant, that's huge.
Yeah, you don't need to risk coming through the smoke to stop that plant whatsoever. You have such big advantages, but you're going to do it anyways. You come through after the bomb goes down. Oscar's got 1. Tech-9's got some room to work with. Story's hoping for a follow-up peek. That's not coming. So 2 versus 3. Oscar, a chance to do something crazy.
He actually took down the AWPer. And now Oscar in a position of power as he moves into the open. M4 picked up instead. Nutirus goes in towards him. Oscar finally dealt with, so it's all on Shock. And this Deagle looking to close it to tie up this scoreline. Time ticking. Deagle into the open. Nutirus goes down. Time is a problem, and they're not taking him out. Shock just needs to stay alive, and there's no more time to win the round. Oscar on the Tech-9, closed out by Shock. Sinners walk their way into the A bomb site with pistols and come out with a 4th round win.
Yeah, but why are you not defusing inside the smoke? I don't think it was perfectly on top of the bomb. Was it that far off that you didn't want to risk it? I thought it was on the side of the boxes where you could actually get an angle inside that smoke. But yeah, I mentioned as this game went live, Oscar historically has been such a phenomenal clutcher, especially with the AWP, but you can see it in that round. You can see the way he's moving in that 2 versus 3 of being able to isolate fights, of staying safe, applying pressure without being committed. Yeah. And Oscar does just enough to burn time off the clock.
Yeah, you could see on his first peek out to the elevator, he realized that the player that he would have to fight next had an AWP. So he came back and he realized he could peek it again if he moved fast on the angle. So great work from Oscar, and speed is certainly the idea here for Sinners. There's an Oscar opening. Story dead, but traded back elsewhere by Nutirus onto Mikey.
All right, Morisco leading the way.
Into the open.
Again,
oh my god, that is quick.
That's nasty. Udrik's still alive though, and they got to be aware of that. The A defender is still here.
Oh my god, he's just slipped the net. Round the back! Nearly a triple kill. That would have dropped the bomb, but he's drawn these numbers even. Equilibrium established once again. And Achille moves out towards headshot, hops up, takes B-Stick out of the round, and Shock takes one look at the time and realizes there's a lot to play with. So now that all of his teammates are dead, he's getting away from that A-bomb side.
Yeah, going to start shifting over to the B side. When does Mutiris and Agile put this together? I think they're just going to confidently play together regardless. So now Shock picks up the pace. Good call. When Mutiris and Agile hear this plant go down, they'll start shifting over. And again, it's about baiting that low HP player. Let Mutiris go in first. Let him kind of figure out the positioning. And Agile, you got to be ready for the trade. Newest addition to sAw's roster is going to have a big role to play. And again, you've got to smoke for the bomb. Once you get into this site, this time it better be placed perfectly.
When smoke is in, looks perfect for now. Flash is up. No one's sticking it though. No one on that defuse. Mutiris actually goes down through the smoke, and time again will cost him. Agile chasing down Shock on the stairs. And once again, just staying alive. Shock wins the round.
Yeah, and again, it's another situation where it's like, it's nice to go get that kill, but I feel like with that smoke down on the bomb, it's almost like that's your best chance of winning the round with the time that's left on the clock. I understand wanting to hunt down the kill and clean it up, but by dedicating yourself that far forward, you don't have the time for the defuse, so you might as well try and stick it and go for the round win. Sinner's getting away with a very close pair of clutches. And it's devastating to sAw on the CT side.
Yeah, it's building up a convincing case of this T side for Sinners, and they're going to go take their first tactical timeout. They have a lot of money on Shock, so he can drop anybody who's a little bit weak for cash. Two rounds, though, where you have the smoke on the bomb and no one wants to stick the defuse. I understand why Mutiris maybe didn't want to, being low HP. Still went down anyway.
Yeah.
Would have died. His teammate wasn't in a position to cover.
But you might have been able to. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to get too nitpicky into a 2v1 because situation's very different for us having all the information and not having the pressure. But yeah, there were a few different options they could have worked with in that scenario. 5-4 in the favor of Sinners as they've just kind of snatched these last two rounds away. Story's going to get aggressive to try and control B stairs.
Roman gets for a peek with a flash, and he's just jump spotting, as he usually does. This time taking no damage on board. So Sinners a little bit more mid-focus in this round, with 3 players and Util being put in place. Haven't seen a whole lot of mid usage yet. At least this heavy. Oh, a flash ready to go. Mutiris gonna play from elevators. His own util going out. Great flash find. Barisco taken out by a B-Stick. Able to recover his vision in time, and Shock over the top of construction. Builds up a beautiful round for the Sinners. And Udrix and Roman a long, long way off getting involved in this one. It is 6 now for Sinners. The T side is looking great.
Yeah, and I think my biggest criticism at the moment for this sAw defense is I feel like they're giving a lot of respect over to Sinners. There's a lot of free real estate Sinners are able to get on this T side. It's kind of similar to the match we had seen to start the day with Na'Vi playing early on against Fnatic, how you're able to kind of march all the way up towards the end of Halls on Inferno and get kind of real estate for free that allows you to execute whatever tactic or have a good response. Sinners as well, able to kind of slide in towards middle with no one spotting it, able to get aggressive and get a lot of that map. And then when the hit comes, it's so much faster than you expect because you haven't mounted resistance. You haven't tracked them into those positions whatsoever. And we've seen it at the A bomb site as well, with passive defense playing way, way deep back in the bomb site in 5-on-5s. I think sAw's got to start working up the courage to be able to fight at those initial choke points, or at least have intel that it's coming.
I know one of those words. Not a good one, Jason.
I don't know. It's a nice sounding word. I'm not going to lie to you.
True. It is. It's pretty useful, too. 6-4 scoreline. sAw looking to battle back to a tie game. It's going to be tough to do that with what they've got here. And AK in the hands of Udrux is always something. Roman with an M4. But not a whole lot of supporting cast around it. What I'm excited about is Oscar's back on the AWP. Haven't seen too much of that in this half. And that is a great clear from How does he get a second? That is sick. Went into the open, maybe a little bit too far, but well, hard work is done.
Yeah, and Maui mentioned him specifically on the desk as a player to look at on Sinners. Is if anyone's going to get poached off of this team, Shock was one that he was looking at and saying he's got some game, and we're starting to see it come to life here on Vertigo. Good double entry to start things off.
Yeah, and he's 10-8 now, but he had a really quiet start too. I remember pointing out he was like 1-6 or 1-5 at one point in this game, and so the fact that he's now top of the charts, 10-8, it's been a huge amount of impact over the last few rounds, and he won those 2 close rounds you mentioned where he just needs to stay alive and win the 1v2 or 1v1. So much impact from him. Sinners attacking in towards the B bomb site, smokes up in the middle of the site itself. That'll sever off the information flow to the eyeballs of Agile. And he'll dive down off construction, get close. That smoke blasted open, and it worked out for Agile. He got one. Udrux fought back, and the numbers once again even with 35 seconds left. Yeah, that actually was such an that smoke break gave such an advantage over to sAw. Now they're looking for that flank, and Oscar, yep, in this kind of a situation, he can thrive, he can shine. They weren't ready for it, but Roman cannot transfer over. They thought he'd be on the flank as one of the A defenders, catches Oscar off guard, but too much to ask to transfer. Did feel like there was a small chance there, but B-Stick stands strong enough. 7-4 scoreline, and the buy has returned to sAw. Last round, you have to remember, it was a couple of safe weapons and a few pistols. Now they've actually got a good buy to try and close out with a 5th round. Did start to feel a little worried for Sinners in the first few rounds, Jason. I don't know if you agree, but it did feel like the gun rounds were quite solid for sAw. Yeah,
look, those back-to-back clutches have just broken sAw. Not only in terms of their economy that they've just now recovered, but just in terms of the momentum of this game and the feeling of this game. Those back-to-back wins have put Sinners in a very lovely position, up 3.
Oh. Smoke. Just disappearing for a moment. Udrux gets out the information. Look at this double stack. Oh, players around the corner. Nearly opens up with a double there, Story, but B-Stick able to make sure it's a 1-for-1 trade instead. Don't want to get caught behind that smoke, Mikey. Oh, the shadows. They're just too good in that position. If the CT has that angle, you just know they're coming.
Well, I like this from Sinners as well. They just patiently waited behind that smoke, and they just know they're eventually going to be able to retake it for free. And look at all the utility that sAw had to burn to kind of maintain that position. Flashbangs, Molotovs, grenades, smokes, all of that. It gave them map control for 30, 40 seconds that you don't normally have, but it hasn't put a stop to anything. The boost, however, will shut down Mikey.
Oh yeah. Oscar with the colliding. He's fired up now. Blood in the water. Oscar drinking it up. And it's just one player left. It's Mutiris. We waited all half long for a big round from Oscar, and we get it right at the end.
Yeah, that little confidence, the flex. And again, it's such a passive defense. So much room to work with on that execute. And Oscar's got space to set that up and line it up. Roman and Udrux miscomm, double swing at the same position. And Oscar loves it. Great round to close out for Sinners. A great half put together. 8-4. sAw got to be disappointed in how that half went.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the first few gun rounds looked great. First few gun rounds are looking good. And then, yeah, the clutches broke them, and Sinners still got game on Vertigo, it would seem.
Yeah, it doesn't just disappear.
Yeah, still got something there. I mean, it is a number of the players.
It's like riding a bike, Dinko. The first few rounds are a little bit sketchy as you get your feel back.
Yeah.
And then you just kick things off, and you're good to go. And then you start cruising down the road.
You just start pedaling.
Yeah, heading to the ice cream store. Ice cream shop.
When's the last time you rode a bike, Jason?
I mean, technically in the gym the other day, but it's been a minute for an actual bicycle.
Let's go for a bike ride. Hit to 4, though, as we get into the pistol. Sinner is a strong lead as they look to try and build on it. The Drill Berettas, they betrayed Story in the first half pistol. Let's see what they can do for Morisco. Udrik's charging up. Oscar's going to detect a lot of information and steps towards his position. And oh, Drill Beretta's not working out for Morisco at all.
Good timing on that peek from Utiris. Let the ramp players make their presence known. It actually pulled the defender away. Oscar's going to get aggressive and he's going to get punished. Udrix shuts him down. And this mid and B-centric stack for Sinners is in the wrong place. It's been picked apart. Agile has no idea there's a second player. He'll call it out. And now saw's like, all right, well, at most, there's one player here. Let's just hustle in.
Bomb has been planted.
Well, Shock hustling back, but looking to be silent about it. He can make his way out towards the catwalk. At range, Mikey challenging down into the sandbags player of Story. Got to start getting a move on now on the CT side. They got a smoke and a flash available here for Sinners, but no kit on any of the 3 remaining players. And they've got to move. Oh, Uturks and Story making sure that this round does not go in the way of Sinners. A convincing close to a great round here from sAw.
Yeah, let's see if they can turn this into a comeback. Let's see if they can start mounting it. 4-round deficit at half, now cut down to 3 with the Pisteron victory. And a chance for them to get to dictate the action, right?
Yeah.
Choose where to attack, choose what the timing is of when they want to pull the trigger on an execute, on an attack, on an opening play. Sinner's going to full save into this second round. They want the economy going into the third. And a stack in middle. 4 players USPs. Getting a little tower going.
Yeah, if you're sAw, you just want to limit the casualties in a round like this. Make sure that you don't have to rebuy much going into the next round. You'd hope you just have to rebuy some utility rather than weapons, especially when you've gone for full rifles, when no one's gone for a MAC-10. 2 Khalils, 3 AK-47s.
Going to start making their move now. Oscar, it's his job to just spot. He's taking a ton of damage.
Would be a good time to announce that Falcons are playing their opening map here at the RMRs. They're playing against Eclot, and that's going on over on the secondary stream.
All right, Dago, tell me this.
Yeah?
Because I don't want you to spoil the scoreline.
Yeah.
I just want to know. How's Simple going to do?
How is Simple going to do? I mean, against a team like Eclot, I would hope.
At the end of this RMR run, are you
at the end of this RMR?
At the end of not in the game. At the end of this RMR run from Falcons, are you going to be? Do you think you're going to be disappointed or pleased with Simple's performance?
Pleased.
Okay.
I'll be positive.
Sure.
I'm going to go with pleased. I mean, if your expectations are set a little bit lower as well, you can adjust the dial.
Yeah.
And then obviously you can get pleased when he's just slightly overperforms that, Jason.
If your expectations
it's all about your starting point.
Are low on one of the players considered to be one of the greatest of all time.
Lower than, than many would have been.
Yeah.
I mean, he had some decent games, I think, so far. I think it's the rest of the cast around him that sometimes have let them down in some of those games. So he'll get better with every tournament, I would imagine.
Yeah, you would imagine.
Udrix Mutiris, comfortable close to the round, making sure that no one has died. And it only has one opportunity for that to change, and Morisco certainly going to take that chance on that dink as well.
Woo!
That last second dink actually blasts him away with the bomb.
That's actually sick. Oh, we didn't get to see him hit.
I think that's an infinite.
It's very, very dark.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing, Jason. It's not past Watershed yet. It's only 8:37 a.m. where we are.
2-round lead. No AWP in the hands of Oscar this time. This CT side is really going to crank up to a new level when Oscar gets that AWP out for the defense. Same with Story, though, on the T side. No AWP for him, as we're still very early on.
Jerks up onto the Xbox, getting traded 1-for-1 by B-Stick at the sandbags. There's a slight problem for B-Stick. He doesn't have a smoke. So if they mollied him, he would not really be in the best position because his teammates don't have smokes around him. So he's playing in front of the sandbags, not just hiding behind them. And he doesn't see any continued pushes here from sAw.
Yeah, he's loving the safety of this waterfall smoke that's thrown out. Sinners go very passive at the B bomb site and middle with only one defender keeping eyes on both. They'll have to change that up at some point, as sAw's not fully committed forward, so now they're concerned that an adjustment on the map, but this is very loud that they're shifting through elevator back towards middle. And sAw's hearing all of this directly beneath the A bomb site. With the verticality of this map, sAw's been able to gather a lot of information because Sinners is being so loud.
Now sAw have gone real quiet, but Beestick still standing, still fighting, and tucking his head down behind the default box. He would now rely upon his teammates to step up instead, and that's exactly what he's got. Beestick then comfortable to reappear.
Dude.
And just makes the sAw side vanish.
Yeah, that round fell very flat for sAw at the finish. And now they have no money.
Yeah, money's falling flat too.
Yeah, this is gross. Sinners gonna have a chance for double digits with relative ease. I think sAw have to be really cautious and conservative with their money, and they're gonna take a timeout to talk it over. I mean, there's not going to be a whole lot of great options. U-Jerks and Roman at 14 or at 1,800 and 1,400 respectively. This kind of double save territory for those two might prompt them to go for the full buy here. It's got to be a very difficult situation for Agile, having a tough opening map at this major. They're at the RMR, 5-9, 34 ADR. Not the most beautiful stats, but you're stepping into a team for their star player just after Roman and Mutiris had spent 10 years trying to qualify for majors and had just started and had just won their first and just qualified for their first one back in Copenhagen. And now you're kind of the new guy on the block trying to continue that legacy with big shoes to fill.
Yeah, massive shoes to fill in that team as well.
That's a lot of pressure that you're going to be feeling if you're Agile.
Yeah. And that pressure only increases if they lose this opening best of one against a very beatable team. Executed towards the A bomb site, smoke's going out. Flash at the ready here from Mutiris, and then they'll go. Leaving some space on that right side, and now Beestick realizes he's under a lot of pressure coming in from Mutiris down that catwalk, and Beestick actually went for the fight. He swung into the open, but the rest of his teammates stepping up instead. It's Oscar, Shock, and Morisco with 3 in the blink of an eye. And now with under a minute left, sAw still have not planted that bomb. They've run dry on utility. They need some kills now, and Shock, oh, nearly spun back. But that Geo is stepping up. And he goes over towards the elevator, but it has fallen off now, and it's just Mutiris left on the catwalk. They know where he was last spotted as he took down Beestick earlier in the round, and he has blasted off the side of the map, and still falling, Jason.
Still falling. There we go. There we go. That's what you wanted. Thank you.
How'd that feel?
Felt good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other one was like gifts that end too soon. Mm-hmm. You ever go to that subreddit? That's pretty funny.
Yeah, there's some real interesting ones on there, Jason.
Yeah, it's great.
Tell us more about your favorite subreddits.
I know.
Jason.
Let's go down that road.
All right, well, Glocks and a deagle for Mutiris. This will be almost a guaranteed 11th round. I mean, if you're sAw and you lose this game like 13-6 when you're opening against Sinners, ooh, that's a sting. I
think most of it is going to be the fashion in which you lose it, not so much the scoreline, although of course it always sucks to get blown out to a certain extent. But I think looking at it, when they go back and look at that first half, I think some of the rounds they get exploited when they're passive. The 2 clutches they lost are just so heartbreaking. Winnable clutches as well.
That charm just looks ridiculous on that Glock.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I was thinking the same thing on the pistol. I was like, we don't have to put charms on every single weapon.
Yeah, guys, come on. I mean, I was talking to Harry about it, because you obviously picked up his gun in game one day. You were like, this charm is disgusting, Harry.
It was distracting me.
Yeah, and he said that's a good thing, because you get used to it, because you're using that deagle all the time. But then when someone picks up your deagle, they're distracted. In that millisecond where they're distracted, you can wreck them.
Stop.
That's his theory behind it.
Yeah, well, he's got many theories that others would deem unwise.
And some of them you unexpectedly are brilliant, Jason.
True.
Savant of our times. Although a timeout to try and sort things out here in the dying embers of this map for sAw.
Sinners is doing all of this without an op in the hands of Oscar yet. Like, I feel like when that happens, like this defense is just going to get cranked up. Like we saw in the first half what he can do when he's got a little bit of room to work with the AWP. He likes being aggressive. He likes peeking into fights as well. He can just be a menace for sAw. And even without the op in the field of play, they've had a really tough time finding success actually progressing into the A bomb site. Like the ramp fights are going okay, but turning that corner up ramp, turning the corner up scaffolding in yellow, those fights are going terribly for sAw. And they haven't even really tried the B bomb site quite yet. And maybe it's part of the game plan. They want to establish success at ramp before they really try and exploit these B stairs.
Oh. Mikey's all the way downstairs. And Achiel's low in the corner, so low, but still able to take the kill on a shock. He's in for a rude awakening. Achiel was some 6 shots in this round. Probably should have died a long time ago, but Sinners get their ass handed to them in this one.
Okay, Roman, that quick switch is sad. That makes me sad, Panda. Good job from Morisco. They can recover in this round. And look, sAw's nowhere even close to the bomb site just yet, so we're gonna get them starting to move forward. Bait the low HP player, see if he can get you some information. But there's a real chance Sinners can bring this one back in the 2v3. Utility is gone for sAw's attack, so if they just get delayed, CT side's gonna start feeling real good about this. And now they know the bomb's at the B bomb site, just a tap from Story.
Yeah, that smoke making him uncomfortable, but it's still a difficult retake when you're coming in from both from the same side, right? You've got to get past the generator. That smoke they deployed is going to fade away soon, and they're going to use it right at the final seconds. Here goes Morisco forward. Story dies within the site. Achiel's low, and what a great start to the rounds for sAw, but a disastrous finish as Meteorus is tucked around the corner. Morisco coming close, time ticking on it, and a headshot locked in. Sinners up to map point. And that is a disastrous finish to a beautiful start. Oh, it's utter collapse for sAw.
Yeah, well, their post plants have... the only word that's coming to mind is really cruel. I was going to say pathetic. I feel like maybe pathetic is very strong, but their post plants are definitely losing them this game. This one, certainly in isolation, I have no problem using pathetic as the terminology for it.
Achiel did so much for them. And then Roman quick switches in middle, and you're like,
yeah, but
no.
the crappy thing about it is he's the one who also made the mistake, Achiel. Like that follow-up peek, that swing with low HP, like that is ill-advised. Oscar's got the off now, but he's under some pressure. Molotov to give him some time and space. Another advantage for sAw 5-on-4.
After all the chaos to start the round, things take a breather. They slow right down. sAw will reposition the majority of their forces over towards the bottom of the A ramp, and Oscar's got a read on that. So he's repositioned his AWP over here as well. But they don't stick around. sAw do not hang around. They're going back mid again. Climbing up the ladder. Information being picked up, though, Jason, from Sinners. They're actually moving down the ramp. They don't see anything.
Problem is there's no one on the other side of the map to be able to delay anything that sAw's doing. This would be awesome if there's like one player in middle providing resistance. Maybe sAw doesn't want to move into it. B-Stick is going to get there at the wrong timing. Maybe he can find Roman, low HP. Oh, he walks right into the next. One kill. Now Oscar, he needed that shot. It's not going to come in. I think if you're Mikey and Morisco, you have to think about saving here.
Well, no chance for that. Achiel gets a double on the stairway.
Good to see him get some kills, though. Mentioned he was a little quiet. I think he was a 5-9 when I called him out earlier in this half, putting some good rounds on the board, or at least some good kills.
We had 2 in the last round, 2 in this one. Just some speed behind the start of this round from sAw as they went out middle. Although Sinners still have a very good buy, and they still have an ult for Oscar, right? So now it'll still be a problem sAw have to deal with. sAw played the last 2 rounds with opening kills. Haven't had that chance yet in round 20, but oh, bullet lands onto B-Stick.
Well, if you want to continue fighting on Vertigo and you want to actually give this comeback a real shot, this is the round you need to win. Money is gone for the defense after this. And they've had issues taking this bomb site. They haven't had issues taking control up to the point to where they currently are. It's turning the corner and actually progressing forward to get a bomb plant that has always been stopped. Oh, careful shuffling nades. Oh, boys, not like that.
That is very awkward.
All right, everyone, let's calm it down. You can't be shuffling nades in an exposed position like that.
Well, they got to the finish line. They have sort of tripped so far.
I'll tell you what, if I'm Oscar too, I'm maybe a little bit frustrated just because, I mean, I'm making a little bit of an assumption in my head of who's communicating what, but if you're holding that line with the op and then you your teammate maybe calls for a nade that you want to toss over to him and that takes you off the line and then they peek that line and get a double kill, that's a really frustrating situation to have happened. So who knows what caused it, but that's very ambitious and very, I think, lazy to not be in a safer environment to make that exchange.
Well, you mentioned the money being broken for the CTs.
Yeah, that's the extra thing on top of it. Now you're like, great, we just invested all this money, I just got the op, now we're broken. And maybe a coach's timeout to settle it down.
Yeah, still a lot of rounds to play with to just get one. But as we've seen many a time in MR12, you can watch that lead disappear very quickly. And if you're one of these teams that are an underdog or not even considered even on the fringe of qualifying, getting an opening win, it is a huge step in the right direction of increasing your chances of qualification.
Certainly, I mean, just for the extremely obvious reason of it's just always nice to start with a W, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it does feel like if you're the underdog, you have the best opportunity to qualify is by going 2-0 on the first day, right? It's getting those 2 best of ones and your 1 BO3 win away from qualified. Maybe you don't have to go with more BO3s to get through.
Well, especially because those BO3s are where things start getting tricky, especially against the more favorited squads. Yeah. This time, sAw just get a deathmatch up a ramp. Nice, easy round. Only Udrix falls. 17-17 for him. 17 kills on Mutiris and Roman as well. sAw just 3 rounds back. At 3 rounds in a row.
Oscar has enough money to get the AWP out again, but you mentioned earlier that capabilities on the CT side, we haven't even seen him have a moment where he can pop off on the CT side yet, despite having the AWP twice, right? Overwhelmed in middle in the previous round, fumbled in the last. So let's see what he can do now. Oscar's going to peek down into his ramp, but that smoke is up, and so that cancels out that idea. Ooh. Marisco around the corner on the short shelf. Udrix is worried about a possibility of a boost in this kind of round. He's going to deploy his utility. Molotov goes up, flash over the shelf, and Udrix forced back by utility from the CT side. He's not allowed to round the corner as short just yet, but Marisco, oh, he's forced back away from that position, so great utility here from sAw. Just trading it at the moment.
Ooh, Roman, you got a chance here. Shock gonna step into this. Oh, Roman just saw the elbow and then the peek came, but Story's got to pick and rebuttal, and Shock has got to try and get back into the bomb site. What a good read, a good angle from Story. And you just mentioned the last round. Once again, it's going to happen. No chance for Oscar's op to have any kind of an impact. And go back to 2 rounds ago when he's chucking nades away over to his teammate and gets peeked. That was your best chance of having impact. You're in the right place at the right time, and you just look away to do something silly and get deleted. And now you still have not been able to shut anything down with this op throughout the entire half.
Udrox is on the hunt as well. He knows if he can get any damage, it's massive. But Beastic in a good position to stop him. Mutiris is up next. Oh, he won't miss. Oscar will. And you can't lose this AWP. Oh, this would be so frustrating for the Sinners. This would be devastating for them. Oh, and the hunt is on and they lose everything. Everything's gone.
It feels like we're getting overtime now. This is this map has completely changed. Especially when you consider the heartbreaking fashion in which they've lost these. The Oscar round over towards yellow where they're doubled up trading nades. Now this one where everything's ripped out of your hands, everything is taken away from you, and it's back to nothing with the money. You can half buy because the losing bonus has been built up. If you're Sinners at this point, you're saying during this timeout, we're gonna half buy here, and then boys, it's time to focus up and lock in. We got one more chance to close this out. We put ourselves up 12-6. Please, let's not let this slip away. One more chance to close out the map. One clean buy to close out the map. That's like, I don't even know what that is. Just clicking in my brain.
It's just the knife, isn't it?
It's like conditioning.
It's Morse code. If you really listen, Jason, you can find the secret message. 5 7s and a deagle is what Sinners have to play with, and I'm afraid you're right, Jason. It does seem like overtime is the most likely outcome now. Sinners have been unable to post up an interesting CT round. They all never...
No, what's weird about it is they put up some very good CT rounds. Very early on in the half.
Start of the half, sure, yeah.
Before the op came out.
They looked like it was going to be smooth sailing right to the end.
And the op did take them to a new level. Unfortunately, it's down a level.
Yeah. Details matter.
Bomb has been planted.
The pistol's holding for some exits, hoping sAw get a little hungry. Push forward into them, maybe you can walk away with the rifle. There's a kill on you, Jerks. Agile's up next. 2 kills, make it 3. Now they're moving into the bomb site with a little bit of time on the clock, but not enough.
Oh dear.
And Story's waiting behind the sandbags. Defuse being stuck.
Are you crazy?
Story stops him. Yeah, he had to get on it. Time was limited. And now he swings out into the open. So AWP picked up. Oscar's going to try and get to the corner, and this would be a huge steal away. And yeah, I mean, that AWP.
He'd have an op in the next round regardless of the money he's got, but yeah, this is nice.
Last round of regulation anyway.
And maybe if you want, you can go into a double op setup if you're really feeling frisky.
Nope. No, thank you.
Yeah, you're not feeling that one, Dingo?
No, one of the ops hasn't worked, Jason.
So why not 2?
Exactly.
12-11. Look, whatever. Forget about everything else that's happened in this half. It all comes down to this. 5 rounds in a row for sAw to get themselves within 1 of overtime. This has been an unreal collapse of the Sinners defense. It looked strong to start the half, and now they have to buckle down for this final round.
Well, the B bomb side at times has been really weak with Mikey as the anchor. He's had a rough time. So Oscar's come over to help him out. And maybe this is where the AWP can finally get involved.
Yeah, this can be sneaky as well. This is an angle that you wouldn't expect to have to contend with an AWP. So if anyone from sAw actually moves up the stairs at any point, this is going to be a very rough surprise. And not really applying pressure in middle means I don't think Sinners is going to ever want to break this stack until it's spotted. Oscar can stay here as long as he wants.
Oh, he spots a little bit of Agile, and you know you have to take the shot, but it's tough. And now Oscar gets damaged down to 45 HP. You lose the really good angle as well. And you can't stick around and tank utility damage, so you do have to play more passive if you're Oscar.
And information is there that the AWP is at the B bomb site. sAw might be assuming he's rotated away.
Well, Mikey's gone back to Tetris, but the Molotov, they're going to start coming in. Mikey swings into the open. He actually starts taking taking fights. And finally, Mikey, in the most important of rounds, steps up with some impact. Oscar in with the AWP, looking to close it out. And the AWP in the end will make the difference. The Sinners not looking like they are going to lose this one, but Roman has different ideas. He charges right back in. A double back. 1v2 left in front of him. And he's taking a lot of damage on board. 18 HP. 20 seconds as he moves forward.
Four bullets.
Bullets in the AK, and Shock will bring him down. It looked like utter collapse, but in the end, the Sinners will go unpunished.
Well, they got there in the end. They made a meal of it, Sinners. It was